Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we're in Treaty 1 territory in the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. My name is Ron Merritt. I'll be your chairperson this afternoon, introducing our panel members, Mr. Harvey Diamond and Sandy Tapper to his immediate left. And our recording secretary is Miss Finson. And representing the city is Rebecca McClure. We'll be hearing applications for revision in regards to the assessment rule in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested has been described in each application, and we'll limit discussions to those matters. The statements that the applicant or the assessor make are sworn testimony, and anybody speaking in these matters must be sworn in. Please be advised that comparisons of assessed properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board is appointed annually by City Council and it is independent of it, along with the City Administration. We make our decisions based on the evidence provided at the hearing and issue a written order that will mail to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the Board's decision in respect to application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to Court or Queen Bench if the matter pertains to exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, this will be included in the Board's order. In respect to the hearing, I will confirm the matters to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We'll then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions by the other applicants, which they may have. And it'll be the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each party will have the opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all evidence about the application is brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket this afternoon. The session will close after all applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make a decision. You will receive the order by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live stream recorded and be part of the public record. We'll ask that our secretary swear in the assessor and swear in this gentleman.
Please state your full name.
Rebecca Lynn McClure.
Do you swear that the evidence you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Would you like to swear or affirm?
Swear.
Please state your full name.
Solomon Matisha?
Do you swear that the evidence you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you have anything you need to give to the panel members?
Yeah, one short and how to myself.
Okay, so you'll just use verbal evidence?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we'll first hear from the assessor, and we're going to be doing the business appeal. And there's an appeal for 2016, 2017, 2018. Okay. So we will first hear from the assessor, and they'll take us through their presentation. And I understand there are some recommendations on the property, and you can decide whether you want to accept them or continue on with the hearing. So we'll first hear from the assessor. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So the 16 and 17 roll is on one page there. So that's file number 17-527 for 16 and file number 17-529 for 17. This is 533 Sargent Avenue. This is a single tenant owner occupied building located at the northwest corner of Sargent with the back lane of Yonge Street abutting to the east. So the base total annual rental value was $34,860 with a premise area of 2,040 square feet and an overall rent per square foot of $17.09, including occupancy. So in that second graph there, we have the base ARV, which is $30,396 with a base net rent of $14.90. All occupancy costs are attributed to the full leasable area, again stating the $34,860. So before I go through the comps, I just want you to flip to the second page of the brief, where we do have that recommendation. So market rents were researched for the subject property And the base rent and the total rent for that base value proved to be a bit optimistic. So when I did review the property, it was classified incorrectly, so I corrected it. And that $12 rent you see for the base ARV per square foot is actually a model derived rent. I just want to state that because usually they are not rounded off. This is an exception. So 2,040 square feet with a base ARV of $24,480, $12 a square foot, all occupancy costs, and then with a total occupancy cost of $4,488 with an annual rental value of $28,980 recommended today. Just quickly though, I will go through the comps because the best comparables are the same for both of these, showing that from 16 to 17 to 18, there's not a ton of renewals and not a drastic increase in rents that we've found. So on this brief in front of you for 16 and 17, they're not numbered, the 5th and 6th there, so 520 Portage Avenue, Unit 104, and 772 Notre Dame Avenue. These are two of the best rents that we have. They are both restaurants. They have a $12 net rent and $12.50 net rent, and then all the way to the bottom, not that bottom one, but then that $12.63 and $11.50 there. So 1374 McPhillips and then 275 Carlton Street, Unit 103. One of these is a bakery, the $11.50 rent. And then the other one is a salon, showing that a lot of these restaurants in and around the subject area do have lower rents than a lot of other businesses. Some of these other rents are not restaurants. So those four is what the market is supporting the model at for $12 base for this valuation. Thank you.
Any questions in regards to what you've just heard?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I want to know something. If someone own the building and make business on it, and also someone rent for the building, do you see the same issue? I mean, the same rental value, or how do you say it?
We value, so because you're owner occupied, you're saying
Yeah.
you're not receiving a rent, correct?
Yeah.
You're just running a business out of it.
Yeah.
So the city does value those properties the same way because we have to value them on an income approach for the whole entire property. So for business assessment, we do the same thing. We value it based on what that property would achieve for a net rent if you were asking for one. So if it's owner occupied or tenant occupied, this valuation wouldn't change. If you had an actual rent, let's say you were receiving $14 and that's higher than the market, well, with your property being reclassified now correctly, that rent coming in at $12, we wouldn't then go say, well, he's actually getting 14, so let's just change it to that. That's not what we do. If it's in and around what the market says, we leave it as is. But you have an owner-occupied property and running a business out of it, the valuation is the same whether you had a tenant or not.
You're gonna take average one? You take for average market rental one, or?
So the model, yeah, it
No.
takes into account where you are, how old the building is, what kind of business you have in there, and a bunch of other factors to say, well, this property pulls a $12 rent. So then I looked at the market to look at rents that have been reported to us, and it's very, very close, if not bang on, to what those rents have been reported, because that's how we create the model. We look at what is happening in the market, and then based on age, size, location, that's where those rents come from. So in this case now, it's very reflective of market.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
I'll ask our panel members, Mr. Diamond, questions of the assessor.
I don't, thank you.
I have no questions.
Okay. Ms. McClure, this is below the threshold,
Correct.
so it's not subject to business tax?
No,
Okay.
and I did have a conversation
Okay.
with the appellant on the phone prior to the hearing because this property isn't a biz zone levy. So just saying, okay, well, you're not liable for business taxes anymore. You are still liable for that business zone levy. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Yep.
So.
Do you have a presentation in regards to what you just heard, like, I think we're talking about 2016, 2017?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so are you going to be presenting, or are you satisfied with what you've just heard?
Prefer it's more, still, business is not that much working out. Still I'm struggling, so if it is possible, just, need to get for reduce for
Okay,
some more.
but we're gonna do the business assessment for the 2018 also,
Yeah.
okay?
Mhm.
So are you satisfied with the 16 and the 17?
No, I want to see it for, I mean, I'm here to get ready for 2016, 17, and 18, just you're gonna see it
Okay,
for me,
Okay.
that's my question.
then what we can maybe do is go to the 18
Sure.
and do the presentation,
Mhm.
and then we can sum up everything, okay?
Perfect.
So the floor is yours?
Perfect.
Mhm.
So file number 17-4784 for business assessment, roll year 2018. So the original ARV was 34,380, same leasable area, 2,040, with an overall ARV rent per square foot at $16.85. The base ARV before occupancy was $14.50, which was model derived. All occupancy costs included again, with that total of $34,380. So flipping to the second page, again, market was researched, the property was amended, and there is a recommendation of $12.57 per square foot. Again, all occupancy included, with a total ARV of $30,420 for 2018. Again, back to those comparables. There are two near the bottom, just not the last two, but just above that. Those are different comparable rents just because we are in a different year here. So those are as of 2014, and that's $11.15, which is a restaurant. And then again, sorry, that $12 rent was in the previous brief. That's that 520 Portage Avenue. And you can see, and that was a renewal, sorry. So we have $12 previously and then $12 again. So that rent did not change, showing that a drastic increase in rent may not be realized. So previously we had $12. Here the model is pulling $12.57. And that's the recommendation today.
Questions of the assessor's brief?
No.
No. Mr. Diamond?
No questions.
Ms. Stepper?
No questions.
Your presentation, sir? Or you can accept the recommendations because it's below the threshold, so you won't be subject to business tax.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that.
Okay? Except these 2016, 2017, and 2018? I think you're in agreement with it.
Okay. So, I mean, no, I don't pay for the business tax, and therefore the,
Yeah, so you won't be liable for any business tax.
Okay.
You will be liable for those biz zone levies,
Okay.
which will be less because
you gotta calculate with the new one.
the ARV has decreased. The 2018 biz zone levy, it just went to council on the 14th of March, so it's not confirmed, but it will be around the same percentage as the previous year, give or take a decimal point or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that concludes our hearing, so thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome.
and you can thank the assessor.
Yeah, so we're gonna do this one
So you will get